Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Hi, if you are new here, welcome. My name is Brittany, and in today's video, I am going to be doing a Mommy Makeover Q&A. I asked you guys to leave me your questions over on the Mom app as well as Instagram. So I have written them down on a notebook here. So I am going to go through the questions and answer them for you guys. At the end of the video, if you guys liked it, please give it a big thumbs up. And please subscribe if you guys are new. I would love to have you guys here. I share a lot of videos about mom life, cooking, and cleaning. And we just moved into our new house, so I'm going to be doing a lot of unpack and organize videos. And then I'm also sharing lots of content regarding my mommy makeover surgery. So let's get into the questions. Okay, so one of the most popular questions was pricing. I got asked how much did it cost? Was it very expensive? And I know in a previous video I had shared the range of what a mommy makeover surgery costs. It's usually between $15,000 and $25,000. And I will just say I'm like pretty much right in the middle of that. At the end of the day, it is a lot of money. But when I look at myself in the mirror and I see the results, to me, it was worth every penny. And I'm loving the results and I'm loving the way it makes me feel on the inside. It's not just about my appearance. It's not just what I look like on the outside. It's what really has made me feel on the inside as well. So, yes, it was a lot of money, but totally worth it. Second question is, has your mommy makeover given you more confidence to try out new styles in your fashion? Now, I am 3.5 weeks post-op, so I haven't actually gone shopping yet, but in my mind, yes, it already has. Before I had so much loose skin on my belly that I had to buy pants, a bigger size so I can tuck in that extra skin. So when I do go shopping and I'm starting to look at jeans, I'm not going to have to buy high-waisted jeans only. If I want to buy low-rise, mid-rise, whatever, I know I'm going to be able to do that now. And then as far as dresses or jumpers, I can wear those now without the need to wear Spanx. Every dress I wore, and even some shirts, if they were too tight, I would make sure that I would wear my Spanx and my body wraps just to keep all the skin tucked in as much as I could. I don't have to wear such baggy, loose, long shirts to hide my lower tummy. I don't have to do that. And so I am so excited to try out new outfits, to try out new clothes that I wouldn't typically wear before. So to answer your question, absolutely. It's already given me so much confidence as it is. So I know going to the store won't be as stressful. I hate clothes shopping. I just hate it. And now I'm actually looking forward to it. Okay, so question number 3. How to prepare for surgery. I did make a full video on it, and I can link it in the description box down below if you want to check out that video. I go into detail, more into detail about everything you should get for your surgery, what you'll need. But now that it's already done, I will answer that question. Things you're going to want to have for sure after surgery is your medication that your doctor prescribed. You're going to want to pick it up before your surgery. You're going to want to have a non-scented soap the night before or the day of your surgery. You're going to want to take a shower and completely wash your body with no scent. So use a soap that's not scented, and then you can't put anything on after. No lotions, perfumes, makeup, nothing. You're going to want stool softeners. You're going to want juice. You're going to want frozen fruit for smoothies. You're going to want sports bras that zipper or clasp in the front if you are getting a breast augmentation. You're going to want cotton panties that are loose fitting, not with like a band at the top, kind of like restricting. You're going to want loose ones, cotton ones. Belly binders. The one that I got from the surgery center was too big and it didn't stay tight enough. So I bought new belly binders off of Amazon, which I will link it down below as well. The current one that I'm wearing that I absolutely love, I'll link that one. So you're going to want a belly binder as well. If you are getting lipo, you are going to want pads for wherever you're laying or sitting, just like absorbing pads, because wherever you get lipo, it can leak out while you're recovering. So you're going to want to protect your chair, your couch, your recliner, wherever you're sitting from getting fluids on it. Let's see, you're going to want gauze, you're going to want medical tape. These are some of the things I didn't mention in my Mommy Makeover pre-surgery video because I didn't know. So now that I do know and I had to get them, these are some of the things that I've needed to use since my surgery. And then also, I do recommend to do your research before your surgery. Make sure that is definitely something that you want to do. Read up on it, watch YouTube videos. For me personally, I watched YouTube videos of the actual surgery because I wanted to know what it looked like. That might not be for everybody. It gets kind of intense, but I wanted to know what was going to happen and what it was going to look like. So definitely do your research and know what you want as far as all of your surgeries. Mommy Makeover can mean different things. Not everyone gets the same procedures, so make sure you know exactly what you want and prepare yourself for the pain afterwards as well. Just make sure you have all of the support at home. Really good support system is going to do you really good because for the first 2 weeks, you're not going to be able to do too much and you're going to have to rely on your support system. Next question. Were the drains uncomfortable when you were sleeping and showering? Okay, the drains were the worst part out of all of this, and I kid you not. I had 2 drains placed on both of my hips, and they hurt, and they were a pain. I had them in for 11 days total, and they were just uncomfortable. You know, after your surgery, you have to sleep on your back. I'm a side sleeper, and even just slightly leaning to the side, my drains would get pinched between my belly binder and my underwear or my pants, and that pain is just like a shocking pain. It's horrible. Not to scare anybody, but the drains were the worst part. Now, when you shower, this is like another thing that I didn't know I would need, but when you shower, you have to wear a belt into the shower because you have to take your belly binder off, but you still have the drains. So luckily my husband had like a fabric belt from a pair of shorts. So I put that on, and then you have to clip your drains onto the belt while you shower. So while in the shower, they weren't like that bothersome. They were just hooked on the belt, and you know, you have to wash around them and clean the area around it. So the shower wasn't that big of a deal, but sleeping, again, yes. And just having them hanging from you 24/7, they were in the way. Next question. What was your first thought when you saw your body for the first time? So I saw my body for the first time 2 days post-op in my surgeon's office. So he did not make me go in the following day, which normally if you have like a breast aug or just a tummy tuck, you go in for a next day follow-up. But since I had multiple surgeries, I didn't have to go in for 2 days. So my 2 days post-op, my doctor removed my band from my breast and removed my tummy binder. And I looked down, and my first thought was, oh my gosh, number 1, I have cleavage. Number 2, my nipples are pointing straight, normal. And my stomach is so flat and I can see my vagina. Can I say that? I mean, I don't know what else to say, but that was my first thoughts. My belly used to hang so far over my vagina that I couldn't really see that area without lifting my stomach up. That's so embarrassing to say, but that was my reality. So just to not have so much hanging skin covering everything, it just was an amazing feeling. And, my husband was sitting right next to me, and I was like, take pictures, because I'm standing there and the doctor's in front of me and Josh is next to me, and I'm trying to look down, but I'm still sore. So that was my first thought. Then I asked Josh to take pictures so I can look at it at home, because I had to get all wrapped back up after that appointment. So I had pictures to look back on. So those were my initial thoughts, but just also seeing all of these stitches and staples in your belly button looks weird. It's a little alarming at the same time, because it's your body and now you have all these stitches and staples and everywhere. But I knew what I was getting into, and like I said before, I don't regret it at all. Next question. What was your biggest concern going into the surgery? Well, I've had multiple surgeries before, so I kind of know what to expect as far as the pre-op, the anesthesia, how I wake up from anesthesia, things like that. But of course, there's that big black cloud over your head every time you're going to go into procedure. Will I die on the operating table? That was a concern of mine. And it's silly because I know my doctor is board certified and a really reputable doctor, and I'm a pretty healthy person. There's no underlying conditions that I have. So it was silly to think that, but normal. I think it was normal to have those thoughts. It's scary. And I was going under for 5.5 hours, which is the longest time I've ever been under for. So yes, I did have that thought cross my mind multiple times, and it scared me. That was one of my concerns. And then also the fact that Josh was not allowed to go into the surgery center with me scared me. I should have realized it because we're in the middle of a pandemic, but I didn't think about it. And the surgery center called me the day before to go over all of my information. And they said, and absolutely no visitors. Whoever is driving needs to drop you off at the front door. And I lost it. It was scary to think about. But when I walked through the surgery doors, and they were so nice and they were so caring, I felt at ease. I felt like I was in good hands. And Josh was texting me and being silly and lightening the mood. So, yeah, that was definitely a concern of mine as well, but it ended up all working out. And then another concerns, like, I know these aren't the biggest concerns, but just to add on, I was afraid that I wasn't going to like my body. I had to choose what size implant I wanted. It's hard to say because you don't know. You could try on the sizers, but you still don't know exactly what size you're going to be. And so I was still afraid that I was going to pay for this surgery and come out of it and still hate my body and don't like the size of my boobs. They're too big, they're too small, my stomach's not flat enough, whatever. That was also a concern because this surgery is not cheap and it's like a once in a lifetime thing for me. And so I was afraid that I was going to go through all of this and still hate my body. So that was definitely a concern that I had as well. And just being out of commission for at least 2 weeks. I have 4 kids and dogs, and we were moving right after my surgery. And that was also a fear of mine. Is, oh my gosh, how am I just going to sit there and not be able to do anything? And Josh has to do everything, and my family has to help, and the kids have to be more responsible. And because I was being selfish, those were my thoughts. Those were my real thoughts, my real concerns. And again, it all worked out. And that's just how it is with me. I worry and stress about everything. And in the end, 99% of the time, everything works out smoothly and fine. So those were some of my biggest concerns before going into surgery. Next question is, what are you going to use on your incisions to help with the scars? So in a previous video, I shared what I was using. So I am using these Scar Away strips. And on my smaller incisions, I was using this Scar Away gel. But my surgeon started carrying a new scar gel that he recommended. So I went into the office and picked some up. So this I recently started. It's been a few days. It is a biochromium advanced scar treatment with Silly Shield patented cross-linking silicone plus SPF 30. So this is what I've been using for the past few days. And I am going to share it in my next update video, my next Mommy Makeover update video, and just share how I'm liking it. But I will say right here, so far, I like it. I'm willing to do anything to help minimize the scarring, even though the scar is not that big of a deal for me because it's my journey and I'm proud of this journey. So, but I am trying to help minimize the appearance of them overall. Next question. Does the incision hurt when you're moving around? If so, is it a pain feeling, itchy feeling, or a pinching feeling? And to answer that, no. The incision along my belly does not hurt. It is actually still pretty numb. If you've had a C-section, you probably know that feeling where it's like a numb feeling. If you touch it, you can feel the tingles, but you can't really feel the sensation. So my incision along my stomach is numb. There's no pain. The holes where the drains were hurt. Even though there's no drains in there and they're still healing, they hurt. They are tender. Sometimes when I like move to the side or get up off the couch wrong, my belly binder can kind of like dig into where the drain holes are. And oh, that's just like, it's a hurting feeling. It's like chills. That is painful. Next question. Do you plan on getting more surgeries? In my head, yes. I would love to liposuction and lift my thighs. I would love to liposuction and lift my arms. Will it happen? Probably not. I'm not going to say never, like never say never, but it is a lot of money. And it's a lot of work on everyone, to myself to recover, my husband to take over my job while working his job, you know, my family helping out. But the pain that I just went through with this surgery wouldn't stop me from getting multiple or getting future surgeries. The money aspect and being a mom and having my duties, those two things are what stopped me. But if my future surgeries were paid for and I had help at home, then absolutely, I would be going and getting those surgeries as soon as I could. Next question. Have you considered getting a tattoo or several tattoos over the scars at some point in the future? And no, I only have one tattoo. I've thought about getting more, but I probably won't. I'm probably just going to keep my one tattoo and be fine with it. As far as the scars, I'm trying to minimize them, but as I just said previously, I'm not ashamed of having scars. My scars are part of my journey, and I'm not ashamed of my journey, and I'm proud to share my journey. So I don't think I will get any tattoos regardless, and none to cover up any of my scarring. So this next question I was asked actually multiple times, and the question was, what was your hardest part of your recovery? And that is very easy for me to answer. The hardest part of my recovery was being forced to sit there and not do anything and recover. I am very busy. I like to be on the go. I like to stay busy. I do struggle with mental illness, and when I'm just sitting there, I sit in my thoughts, and it's never a good thing, just to be real. So for 2 weeks, pretty much I sat there, and some of you guys might know, I had no Wi-Fi because we had problems with the cable getting hooked up. And then I ran out of data because I only had, a certain amount of data a month. So I had nothing. We didn't have TV, no Wi-Fi, no data. I know, first world problems. But when you're sitting there and you literally can't even get up to go to the bathroom without needing help, it kind of got to me. I sat in my thoughts and I kind of got depressed a little, which sucked. And then also the fact that I couldn't get up and help with the kids if they needed food or if they needed laundry, clean laundry, etc., all that stuff. Josh was doing everything. And Josh was doing everything for himself, for the kids, for the dogs, and for me. And I knew going into it, that's how that was going to be. But when you're in the middle of it, it sucks. It sucks to not be able to do anything and feel so helpless. And then we were moving at the same time. Like a week after my surgery, we were moving. And I watched Josh be the Superman he is and take care of it all. And I just had to sit there. So that was definitely the hardest part, was letting go of my control and sitting there in my thoughts and feeling a little depressed and trying to pull myself out of that since then. And, just driving for the first time. I drove the kids to school. I went through Dunkin' Donuts to get an iced coffee. And I felt like this was normal. I was like, yes, I have my life back. I'm feeling normal. I'm up doing stuff. I'm showering alone. I'm driving my kids to school. I'm making them breakfast. I'm making them lunch. I'm going to go get my iced coffee. And that's really when I was like, okay, I made it. I can continue doing it and kind of pull myself out of the dark times in my head. And I'm not saying they were like super dark or anything like that, but it kind of did get to me just sitting there alone in my thoughts. And next question, on a scale of 1 to 10, how painful was it? Okay, so this is kind of hard to say. How painful was it? I don't want to sound like it wasn't painful at all, because it was, but I don't want to sound like, oh my gosh, it was unbearable and I'll never do it again. So I'm just going to go right in the middle and say, no, I'm going to say 7. On a scale of 1 to 10, 7 is the number that I would rate of how painful it was. And that is for 2 reasons. The first one, which I already mentioned, were the drains. The drains were so painful. Just uncomfortable, getting pinched, getting pulled. The drains. And the second one being my breast. So it happened to only be my left breast, but when the nerves were healing themselves and trying to reconnect, it sent like shooting, shocking pains every time I stood up. So every time I went to stand up, I would have to grab my breast and hold it like tight against me. Otherwise, it felt like the whole thing, like my implant was just going to come flying out of my breast, which sounds probably terrible, but that's what it felt like. It was normal and it lasted for a few days, but in the middle of it, that was actually the first time I cried. I can't remember how many days post-op I was when I first felt that pain. I can't remember. It was a few days, maybe even a week. And just one day I went to stand up when Josh was helping me, and tears just started rolling down my face because of that pain. And that was the first time I cried. And then maybe I cried a couple of times after that because of the same pain. And then when I was doing too much and my belly began to swell, my front incision did hurt. It wasn't the incision, but it was my like muscles inside that did start to hurt when it was swelling after I was doing too much activity too soon. Shame on me, I know, but I thought I was doing good enough. I thought I was healed enough. So that did hurt too. So overall though, I would say a 7, just because those two things really did hurt. But the rest of it was bearable. Next question. Is your incision along your belly painful and worse than a C-section? No. For me, it's basically the same. I had a C-section when I had my twins, so almost 11 years ago. Even when I was pregnant with the twins, I was so scared to have a C-section. Everyone said how horrible it was and how painful it was. And even after having my twins, yeah, it sucked. I had twins, I had a 2-year-old, and I was cut open from my C-section. But life goes on, you know? Life just, it has to go on. And back then I did not have any support. I did not have the support that I have with Josh. And so I just had to continue to be a mom. And I was a mom to Emma, who was only 2, and then I had newborn twins, a C-section, and I just had to do what I had to do, you know? So I think back then, I was too stressed out to even have a chance to feel pain because I had no support. So I just didn't have a choice. Now, the incision, like I said, it's still numb, so it doesn't hurt. I wouldn't say it was any different than having a C-section as far as that aspect, just talking about the incision alone. Now, this is the final question that I have for you guys today, and it is, how much weight did you lose after your surgery? And to be honest, none. I am still 153 pounds after having my Mommy Makeover surgery. Now, I was also asked this, like how much skin was removed. My doctor does not weigh the skin, so I actually do not know how much the skin weighed from being removed. So I don't know that, but I do know that my implants are heavy because they're big. My left one is 500cc saline implant, and then my right one is a 600cc saline implant. The reason why the left one is smaller is because my left breast to begin with was much larger than my right breast because I had surgery after Emma was born in 2007 on my right breast. So my right breast has always been smaller than my left one. And so to get them symmetrical, that's the difference. So 500 and 600. So in my mind, I pretty much traded loose skin for pretty big implants. So that was the trade-off. So as of right now, as of today, I have not lost any weight and I'm still 153 pounds. But that's right now. I know I have lots of work to do to lose weight in my legs, lose more weight in my arms, and just tone my body up. So I'm not trying to focus on the number on the scale. Pre-surgery, I was all about that number. And if you guys watched my weight loss video, you know I obsessed with that number. So now my focus is on toning up the areas that I don't like about my body, arms, legs, and then making sure I keep my stomach flat and tight and looking good so I didn't waste my husband's money. So that is it for today's video. Thank you everyone for tuning in, and thank you guys also for sending me your questions. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll see you guys really soon. Bye.